Yes, so this is a very important point here. In very simple terms, the point is that if we hear about Krishna, if we chant or speak about Krishna, God, then that sound vibration, it has a spiritual quality. We use sometimes the term transcendental. Transcendental is a big word. It means basically above the material realm, and therefore not subject to the influences of matter or the material energy, and rather having a nature which is, in Sanskrit, Sat, Chit, Ananda, eternal, fully conscious, and fully blissful, wonderful, just glorious, joyful, and unlimitedly. So, this is transcendental sound vibration, and actually this principle applies to anything which is spiritual. And we were talking about the sound vibration, hearing about Krishna, chanting about Krishna, and of course if you chant Hare Krishna, or if you speak something about Krishna yourself, then you hear it also. So chanting and hearing this spiritual sound vibration, transcendental sound vibration, it has that nature, Sat, Chit, Ananda, eternal, fully conscious, and fully blissful. Whereas material sound vibration, ordinary sound vibration, just about some worldly subject, about the weather, about material politics, who is going to become President or Prime Minister of Mauritius. So, or talking about business, or just gossiping the latest hot gossip. Did you hear about someone? So all this type of subject matter, all this type of sound vibration, it is material, so it is not Sat, Chit, Ananda. It is not eternal, it is not fully conscious, and it is not blissful. And I think we have sufficient experience of that even if you listen to the most popular song of today, just for the ordinary people, the most popular Bollywood song. What do you think? What is the most popular Bollywood song? Ladies and gentlemen, I know you know. I know some of you know, and I think many of you at least have some idea. Please don't mind me saying that. Is that true? I think so. So is it the theme song of Kuch Kuch Hota Hai? Is it the theme song of Ra 1? Is it the theme song of Duwali Dunyana Lejayenge? What do you think? So, anyway, and I don't know, I must confess, I do not know what is the current popular Hindi Bollywood movie. I'm so sorry. I'm culturally deprived. So I don't know, but I'm sure there is one. There is one, the latest, greatest Bollywood. It's probably Shah Rukh Khan, Aishwarya and Abhishek. Or it might even be Amitabh Bachchan, if he is somehow still carrying on. But there will be some very popular song. Now, if you listen to that for, say, 8 hours, non-stop, kuch kuch hota hai, kuch kuch hota hai, for 8 hours, I think, you know, it may do some damage in there. Let me just tell you an interesting experience I had many years ago. It was about, 30 years ago. We were raising funds, collecting money for building our main temple in Durban, South Africa. And there were many of us doing this all over the country. It was a big thing. And there was a group of us. We were in Cape Town, South Africa. It's one of the big cities there. So we were raising money in a shopping mall, big shopping mall in Cape Town. We were there every day for about a month or so. We had a special arrangement. One day, they put us in a spot, because we had a table and we just stand there by the table. So, but one day they told us, today, put your table over there. There was a music shop, some music shop over on one side. They told us, today, you put your table over there by the music shop and you just stay there for today. So we did that. And it was the music shop. And all day they were playing music. And would you believe, all day they were playing one song. Only the entire day, like 8 hours or even more, just again and again and again and again. You know, it's to say a 3-minute song means in 1 hour 20 times, in 8 hours 160 times. We heard the song roughly 160 times. We couldn't escape. It was Stevie Wonder singing, I just called to say I love you. You've heard of that song? This is revealing, isn't it? So, you know, to be quite frank and honest, I never liked Stevie Wonder that much anyway. I just was not interested, honestly. But we heard that song, we had no choice. We heard that song 160 times, again and again and again. And then that evening we were on the train, we went on the train, and from the station we walked to the house where we were staying in Cape Town. And as we were there in the train and then walking, we were chanting our rounds, like good Hare Krishna devotees are meant to do. We were chanting our rounds on our beads. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. We had some rounds to do. And you know what happened? Me and this other devotee who was with me, we're chanting away, chanting as we're traveling. And suddenly, the song appeared in our minds. I just called to say, I love you. It just, it was sort of programmed. Seriously, it was kind of programmed in through hearing it 160 times. And then I realized, wait a minute, what is this? I don't even like it. So I must stop. So I stopped the song from spinning in my head. And I went back to Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. And not more than a minute later, in my mind, I just called to say, I love you. And again I thought, no, what's going on? So, this is called becoming conditioned. Becoming conditioned means that you accept the conditions, certain conditions. You accept them as being your state. You sort of adopt those conditions as if they are your conditions. So anyway, the thing is this, that and I must say, we got over it, don't worry. We got over this song. It didn't take so long, but it did take a little while. A few times having to tell the mind, stop this. Stop thinking about this. This is nonsense. And then back to chanting, but it popped back in again. And again, stop this. And after a little while, we got into the chanting and we forgot about it. So the thing is, ordinary material sound vibration, and in this case we're talking about some popular music, people like it. People buy it. They spend their money on it. They like it. But after a little while, they become tired of it. And after a little while longer, they don't want to hear it. This is how it works. Material sound vibration and practically any material experience. Practically any material experience is like that. It is nice initially, but after a little while, it's not so nice, you're getting a little tired of it, and after a little while longer, you have had enough, and you really just don't want to hear it again or do it again. Something new, something new. And this is why at least in terms of popular music, this is why the song which was popular 10 years ago, 1 year ago, is not popular now. There's something new which is popular. And 1 year later, there'll be another something new which will be popular. And that which is popular today will no longer be. This is the nature of material experience. It is temporary. It is nice for a while, but after a while it's like, okay, that's enough. We need something new. We need something new. But spiritual sound vibration, as we said, everything spiritual is eternal and fully conscious and blissful. So now, here Arjuna is making the point to Krishna. I just want to hear again and again these glories of yours. Please tell me again. Krishna, Arjuna is saying, I am never satiated. Are you familiar with this word, satiated? It means I'm never coming to the point where it's enough. That's enough. No more. Never satiated. I just want to hear it again, and then again, and then again. And I will give you a very practical example of this, how it works. This Hare Krishna Mahamantra is also transcendental sound vibration, spiritual sound vibration, and the devotees find they can continue chanting for days and weeks and months and years, and they do not reach that point that, okay, that's enough of Hare Krishna. What's the next mantra? Give me another mantra. This Hare Krishna mantra, it is called the Maha Mantra, the great mantra, the greatest mantra. It has been top of the transcendental hit parade. Hit parade. Yeah? It has been top of the transcendental hit parade for thousands of years. For thousands of years. And to give you a very practical example, we have here amongst us this evening a few very senior devotees of the Hare Krishna movement who have been full-time engaged in the activities of the Hare Krishna movement and full-time engaged in chanting Hare Krishna for many years, and they have not become satiated. For example, we have here Mother Satyabhama. Some of you know her. She's just behind this lady here in green, just behind you. This is Satyabhama. She has been a devotee, I would have to speculate, but 20 or 30 years, something? 24 years. She has been chanting the Hare Krishna mantra every day for 2 to 3 hours or something like that. Every day, and I do mean 7 days a week actually, and 52 weeks in a year, for 24 years. And we have also just over there in saffron on the other side is His Grace Sundarlal Prabhu. He's also been a devotee for how long now? 20, 30? How many? 30. 30 years. 30 years. Chanting Hare Krishna every day, really every day. For 2 to 3 hours and sometimes more, but never less for 30 years. And not only are the two of them not tired of it and, we need another mantra, but it is becoming better and better. This is practical proof. This is practical proof that this is actually a spiritual experience. It is an eternal experience. It is not just an ordinary material experience of just of day-to-day life. Can you imagine singing or hearing the theme song for, what should we say? Chori, chori, chupke, chupke. Did you hear of that one? It's a few years ago, actually. Or just say kuch kuch hota hey, everybody's heard of that. Can you imagine singing the theme song of kuch kuch hota hey every day, for minimum 2 hours, 3 hours, sometimes 6? Can you imagine for 24 years or 30 years? I think you would become suicidal a long time before you got to that point. It would just be too much and it would just drive you crazy. Because it's material sound vibration. And after a while, enough is enough. But spiritual sound vibration is different. And this is what Arjuna is saying here to Krishna. You already told me these things. Tell me again. Because I'm never satiated. It is as if Arjuna's ears have become like tongues. And that sound vibration, Krishna's words, describing himself, how he is the Supreme Lord, his different qualities, his different pastimes, how he is merciful to his devotees, how he interacts with his devotees. Arjuna is saying, well, it is like his ears have become like tongues, and he is experiencing that sound vibration to be like some special type of nectar. Some special type of nectar. Like some nectar drink, like that. Something very rich and creamy and sweet and just extremely tasty. He is experiencing that sound vibration of Krishna speaking, describing himself to be like nectar. And his ears have become like tongues, and he is just lapping it up, and more and more and more and more. So, this is the nature of spiritual sound vibration. And this is the nature of the experience of the devotee who is really attuned, really tuned in to these things. Of course, one has to tune in because at this point, because we're materially conditioned, like I was mentioning my experience about 30 years ago with that Stevie Wonder song, it kind of, you know, got into my head a bit and kept sort of replaying itself. So the thing is, people in this world, they're exposed to so many things, so many influences and so much advertising, and then television and whatever. So many things people are exposed to. And as a result, it's a nice ringtone. Good one. So as a result of being exposed to all those things, they just become overwhelmed by it, and it just dominates their thinking. And they become used to it, they accept it. And therefore, at least initially, for people who are materially conditioned, when they hear the Hare Krishna mantra, or when they hear some description about Krishna, in many cases, because they're just so attuned to those material things, in many cases, initially,